Well, I went to a garden party. They all knew my plants. Once they recognized me, they all got up to dance. And it's all right now. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of G Bears Off Gridways, a homestead in the desert. Yeah, I'm in the garden today. Had to get things cleaned up a little bit in here and uh, trim off some of the dead stuff. And while I was doing that, of course, I had to cut some branches off of the tomato plants. So instead of just throwing those in compost, I stuck them in the ground. And there's another one over there. And there's another one over here. And there's two more over there. And I got two more down all the way at the end. And the reason I did that is because these are indeterminates, and they will sprout and grow roots and become a new plant. And since the forecast for this winter is supposed to be a warm and mild winter, but dry, I'm going to try keeping these plants going for a while longer, see if I can't get more tomatoes off of them. Because I have been coming out here and munching. Oh yeah, there's that one I missed, a little baby one. Munching these tomatoes as I go along. Oh, those are sweet. But yeah, I got a lot of flowers on here, so I'll get more. Get some flowers here and some flowers there. Flowers everywhere. More flowers up here. So yeah. Now the ones in the center over there, those are like, I think those were all Romas. And these over here are supposed to be jumbo cherries, but they all came out real tiny. And I've got some more here coming up, see them? But they're tiny. But they're still sweet and edible, so I'll eat them. So anyway, I got everything all cleaned up and retied to the posts. And got everything soaked down and watered really well. So I'll come back in a couple of days and we'll see how many, maybe the end of the week, next weekend. I'll come back and we'll see how many of these tomato plants took. Now this one is actually the same thing. I broke that one off by accident when I was tying up the plants a while back. So it was only a little stem about that long, and I stuck it in the ground. And look at it, it's grown up. It's got flowers on it ready to start producing. My avocado from Avocado Pit, that's doing pretty well. I'll have to make sure I get that inside for the winter though, because every avocado tree I've had has not survived the winter out here. So until I get my garden house extension built and have that little closed up section for fruit trees that won't handle freezing like the citrus trees and that, then I'll have to just make sure I transport these indoors somewhere where they can stay warm and still get some sunlight. So still got some beets left, and over here on my non-producing pear tree, look at this apple graft right here. There's the graft, 213 of this year. So back in February I grafted this, and look at that thing grow. And that's a I can't read it. I know it's apple, but okay, and there's where I did the air layer, and you can see the branch is not dying. It's got fresh growth on it, nice fresh leaves on it. So I added some water to that. That's one thing I forgot to mention when I was telling you about doing air layering, is every now and then come out, and like I said, you can't overwater. So just take your little squeeze bottle with your vitamin B1 water in it, and just squirt it at the top until it runs out the bottom. Make sure that that stays damp and moist. You want to grow some good root stock in there, and we'll work from there. Now, my Concord grapes I got from Tony and Leanne at doing redneck things off grid. It's way up here now. So let me move this around the pole carefully. There you go. So it tries to grow, and it's growing. It's still growing this late in the year, and actually got some buds on it right there. Strange. So this grapevine, which should be Thompson Purple Seedless, this is almost as tall as me. Last year it wasn't doing real well, but this year it took. So it's doing well now. And here's the other two tomato plants. Now, of course, they're laying over wilted. That's because they really don't have any roots. But usually, if you give them a good soaking after you stick them in the ground, and keep them watered, so no heat wave or anything, and usually in a day or two, you'll see them standing straight up again. They'll already have started setting root. All right, so over here, my rosemary and my carrots, and you can see some of the leaves missing here. I found a couple of cutworms in here, and some moths flying around, hiding in the tomato plants. So I got rid of them. And you see they ate the tops off of some of these carrot plants here too. So the peppers that took a beating in the 100+ degree temperatures, they're all starting to come back. So I might still get some peppers before the first freeze. And I've got to do a little more tying up on this plant, because some of the suckers that grew out of the base of it have started setting flowers already. So I want to make sure that they're supported before they end up hitting the ground. And next is the grapes. Yeah, you see the grapes, some of them like this, and you go, oh my God, they're just rotting on the vine. No, they're not. These right here, come on, these right here are sun-dried raisins. Oh, those are good. Almost like chewing a cube of sugar. Wow. So yeah, I'll be picking these raisins off, get them into a canning jar, and then I get a box of bran cereal, and I'll throw some of my own raisins in there. Those are good. So the other little bunches of grapes and stuff, when I'm in here, I'll snack on those. But the ones that are already drying up like this, those are definitely raisins. And that's how raisins are made. All right. So I've been loading my trailer with stuff to go to the dump. And here I'll be taking the good flower pots out of there. But other than that, everything else, I gotta be careful when I lift this up, because it's just falling apart from the sun drying it out. And in here, the heat had really gotten to some of this stuff, but it's all living, it's all fine. And this apple tree has got 4 different apples on it, and it's dormant. So it's that time of year for this one. But this one over here, as you can see, is still flourishing, and it's got fresh growth coming out. So I will be taking a scion off of that one, or 2, or maybe a couple of scions off of this one. And I don't need any more of the Fuji's, because I got Fuji growing on my other pear tree there. But, that other one I told you that I grafted was ambrosia. So that's where I cut it off from right there. So yeah, so I'll, if I have to try to remember, because my tag fell off, what this one is. And maybe I'll take the upper scion from that and graft that over there. And this one is, oh, red delicious right here. So I might take a scion off of there and get that plant grafted over there too. Cherry tree, of course, is in dormancy. And those are all the citrus. That's lemon, lime, bills, tangelos, and grapefruit. And over there in the back is my fig tree. Growing some fresh underwear. And oh, geez. All right, everybody. That's about it. Just a walk through the garden. And let's get back to the garden party. This is G-Bear thanking you for joining me. Don't forget your thumbs ups and don't forget to subscribe. G-Bear signing off.